Hope everybody's having a good day today. I've been busy doing some quoting today, trying to get some new business. Had to quote several apartment complexes here around town, and after I got done there, my sister called and wants me to meet her at my grandparents' with her computer. So I'm getting all that together and I'm headed out there. I think I said it yesterday that I did some quoting as far as pressure washing yesterday as well, and I hope I get some of those jobs. So it's been a busy couple days of just quoting, not really making anything on those, but hopefully they'll turn into jobs in the future. I'm gonna go ahead and head out to my grandparents and see what they're up to. I was about to head out and feed Rosie. I've been messing with my mother's new camera. She bought her a Canon G7X Mark II. It does say Mark II. But I was just trying to see what the differences was between the camera I have and the camera she's got here. This is the one I told her to get. Basically, they're the same megapixels, 20.2 for the Canon 70D, which is what I got. And then this one, and the only difference in that respect is this one's got a smaller sensor size, so you'll probably end up being a little bit better picture quality with the 70D because of that. But the thing I like most about this, other than it being so small and do such a good picture, is it will also do 60 frames per second at 1080p. Whereas this 70D will only do that at 720, and at 1080 it'll only go to 30. So you just get a little bit better frame rate at the higher quality with this one, but you don't get the microphone like this has got, the mic jack, or interchangeable lenses. I mean, this one's got a wide angle lens on it. This one's fairly wide, but it's still not hardly as wide as this 10 to 22. And this one is a 8.8 to 36, but from what I can tell on this camera, with them setting at the same length, this one still is off by several inches, so you don't have to hold it as far out. And then also this one seems like you got to hold it higher, and it may just be because of the way it is, I don't know. And I've got this kind of sitting on a little tripod here, and it's kind of bent down. But it just seems like it's straight when I'm looking at it, and when I look straight into this one, it's like it cuts my head off or something. So it is a little different, not near as heavy obviously, but for what my mother uses it for, going to concerts and stuff, it's perfect because they'll let you in with this one and it does great pictures for the size. But like I said, you lose the different settings, or at least the ease of using it. You get more buttons with this one on top. You get a display on top. It's a lot easier to use the camera because this one's really small. Like the shutter speed is controlled back here, and then on my camera it's up at the top, which is easier, I think. And then aperture is controlled on the back on mine right here, but it's a lot bigger button, so that's easier to do. But aperture on this one is controlled right here on the lens, like the older film cameras, which I really liked. You can actually make this make noise or not. You can make it smooth, which I could see where if you're doing video, the smooth would work better, but I really like having that little click, and it just gives you that, you know where you're at. You don't have to guess that you're on a different setting. It clicks through. I really like that. I hope I get to use this some. I'm sure I will. But I was just kind of comparing the views of it on the viewfinder between this camera and that camera. I set them at the same ISO, same frame rate, and I went to 1080 at 30 frames per second, and then 30 frames per second on this one. And like I said, and also I didn't mention this, but this lens will go down to 1.8 f-stop, and my lenses that I have for this camera, except for one, all go down to 3.5. So this lens is 3.5, and I had to bump this one up to 3.5. Had them the ISO at like 1250 on both of them, frame rate set to 30 on both of them, and the biggest difference I could tell was this one was a lot whiter, and this camera that I'm holding here was a lot warmer. See, you look at the whites in the background, they're kind of a warmer color. They're not as bright white, and with this one they were a lot brighter white, and I like that, but I don't know as far as quality what it would be different because I didn't look at them on the computer. But that was the biggest difference between the two that I could tell just visually. But I'm gonna try it out some and see how I like it. I wouldn't mind having one of these things, but I mean, they're $700 for this, and the 70D, of course it's the 80D now, and it's more like this camera, I guess. It's got a couple features that this one has, like time lapse, and you can also do 60 frames at 1080 with the 80D and not the 70D. But by and large, it's pretty much the same. There's just a couple differences. They just upgraded it. But either way, the 70D new was $1,000 for a body, and the 80D is about the same. They might be $1,100, $1,200 just because it's the newer version, and you could probably get a 70D now for like $900. So you're still gonna be spending about $1,000 just for the body, and this one costs $700 for just this. But you also got to think, you got to buy these lenses on this one, which this particular lens 3 years ago was like $650. May have been close to $700, but I think we got it for like $650, and now they're down to like close to $600. So you know, everything's going down, but the point is this one's a lot more expensive, and you can put the external mic on, which I got, and then you can put a light on the bar that I do sometimes, so you can do a lot more with it. So I like it better. But you know, for what this is, I like it. It just is kind of pricey. I'm just like, why would I want to buy this too when I've already got the one I got, unless I just want to stick it in my pocket. But anyway, it might be something at some point, but I figure I'll just keep the 70D and use it. But I'm gonna let you go. I think my camera's gonna run out of memory, so hope you had a good day today, and I will see you again tomorrow.